Tony Khan makes an important announcement on AEW Dynamite about AEW All In 2024 ticket information. However, some are suggesting that it failed to meet the expectations of the announcement. Details on that, plus MJF is not advertised for AEW All In 2024. Is that an indication about his current contract situation with the company? Speaking of AEW as well, reportedly, as of a few weeks ago, AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery have still yet to come to terms over a new television deal. Details on how close they are to coming towards a new agreement, as well as if WBD actually wants to stick with AEW. We've got brand new Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions after the titles changed hands last night on AEW Dynamite, with the Elite being defeated. MJF ended up teaming with the Acclaim but hasn't got back his big Burberry bout from Switchblade Jay White. Adam Copeland will be teaming with Sting and Darby Allin at Full Gear. Paul White makes his return on AEW Dynamite last night, but some are suggesting he may not be physically healthy. Orange Cassidy is going to be defending his AEW International Championship against Jon Moxley at Full Gear. Dralistico is All Elite after signing a contract with Tony Khan. AJ Styles, an update on when he's going to be back on WWE television, an injury update on Bryan Danielson. Eric of the Viking Raiders undergoes neck fusion surgery, and we have the ratings for NXT Halloween Havoc Week 2. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Tony Khan's important announcement last night and the fallout related to it. Now, Tony Khan promised to make an important announcement on last night's AEW Dynamite, and he did appear with something to say. Appearing in a backstage segment, Tony Khan stood alongside Nigel McGuinness to announce that tickets for AEW All In London 2024 at Wembley Stadium will go on sale on December 1st. However, fans are able to sign up for pre-sale information, including access before they go on sale to the general public on December 1st. Those hoping to grab tickets early can go to ticketmaster.co.uk/AEW Wembley 2024. AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium is set for Sunday, August 25, 2024 in London, England. Of note, WWE's Bash in Berlin on Saturday, August 31st, 2024 is also taking inquiries regarding pre-sales at the WWE.com event/pre-register Bash in Berlin, as the two companies are set for a pair of big events in Europe in the summer of next year. Now, obviously, this led to a lot of people suggesting that maybe the announcement didn't live up to the hype. Let me know your thoughts about that. Did this announcement disappoint? Was this just a case of Tony Khan and others trying to get ratings for the show? And has the patience wore thin when it comes to these promises of important announcements and not delivering? Let me know your thoughts about that. But in addition to that, has the promotion already given some indication about the status of one current top star, if not the biggest star in AEW, and that's MJF? Because they released a poster for AEW All In, and noticeably absent from it was the current AEW World Champion. You can see right there, it's got Adam Copeland, Timeless Tony Storm, Christian Cage, Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, and Jon Moxley featured. Now, some could say, look, this is just a case of people looking too much into things, but actually the press release of it as well doesn't include MJF. We can see this on the screen right now. It says, AEW All In London will feature the biggest names in professional wrestling from a roster that includes stars such as Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Adam Copeland, Saraya, Christian Cage, Adam Cole, FTR, Bryan Danielson, Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Dr. Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and many more. So, do you think this is just a case of people looking too much into things, or is this an indication of MJF and his contract status with the company? He has said on numerous occasions that his contract with AEW expires at the beginning of next year. Is this a case of AEW continuing with that storyline, or is it truly an indication that the current AEW World Champion still hasn't signed an extension with the company? What are your thoughts on the announcement, as well as the absence of MJF when it comes to all of the promotion too? Let me know your thoughts about that. Now, speaking of AEW, the TV deal of Warner Bros. Discovery, many people have been wondering, are we going to get an announcement? What's happening with that? Heading into Dynamite last night, some people thought that the important announcement that was being promoted by AEW and Tony Khan would be regarding a TV deal. We know it's certainly not that. Now, according to Sean Rossap of Fightful Select, as of a few weeks ago, there hadn't been a deal reached between Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW for Max, the streaming service of WBD, but WWE and Universal did reach a deal for SmackDown fairly recently. Of course, that's NBC Universal. Now, Fightful Select are reporting that they have learned that one deal may affect the other in certain ways. NBC Universal, of course, was eager to land SmackDown, which has been viewed as the top WWE show as far as viewership and being, quote, football proof. However, sports may play a role in the dominoes falling. WBD contacts spoke with Fightful and confirmed a rumour that Fightful had heard that they expect NBCU and USA Network to make a bid to land NBA programming rights, which of course have been a staple of TNT for years. This would likely affect the budget that could exist for USA/Universal getting Raw and NXT as well. NBA is expecting a massive increase for the TV rights in 25 to 26. This would also affect WBD's budget in the event that they somehow lose the NBA. AEW and WBD, as of a few weeks ago, were unable to come to terms on a deal that Fightful were told would include AEW television rights, pay-per-view, as well as the library. Those at WBD, though, have stated that Khan has a particular value that he believes the AEW library is worth. WBD sources that Fightful spoke to said that they've been very happy with the AEW partnership and are looking for it to continue. So it's not a case of AEW not being wanted by WBD. They are. It's a case of Tony Khan's value maybe being a bit higher than what Warner Bros. Discovery are looking to pay right now. When Fightful asked about the viewership numbers that are often a talking point for several people, one source there noted that it isn't anything that the company hadn't anticipated, especially going up against football in the fall, which of course was something people did point out with AEW Collision and was stressed by WBD sources prior to Collision launching. So what are your thoughts on the latest development when it comes to all of this? Do you think that Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW are going to reach a figure and reach an appropriate deal and a new deal regarding television, streaming rights, library, etc.? Could you see AEW going elsewhere? What are your thoughts on if NBC Universal lands the NBA? Does that mean that Raw or NXT could end up going elsewhere? Will that affect AEW as well? Let me know your thoughts about all of it in the comments section below. Now let's switch back to AEW Dynamite last night. We saw a title change on the show, and it wasn't an AEW title, it was a Ring of Honor title. Now with Hangman Adam Page continuing to feud with Swerve Strickland, it was announced that the Mogul Embassy, Toa Liona, Korn, and Brian Cage would take on Page and the Young Bucks for their Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships, with Swerve Strickland appearing on the ramp to taunt Hangman Adam Page during the match, causing Page to abandon the Bucks in the ring. The pair were unable to defend the titles left in a 2-on-3 situation. The Mogul Embassy has become Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions for a second time on last night's Dynamite, with Nick Jackson taking the pinfall defeat. After the match, Matt Jackson went on a rampage, hitting things with a steel chair, and Page and Strickland were shown brawling backstage. In addition to that, the Young Bucks seemed pretty perturbed that Chris Jericho was in the Elite's dressing room with Kenny Omega after their tag team match on the show as well, maybe possibly teasing a heel turn for the Young Bucks in the future too. Now, MJF was on the search for tag team partners all last night. He did get them in the end, but he didn't get the result that he was looking for at the end of Dynamite. MJF didn't get the AEW World Championship back, but he had a special moment with the Acclaimed. On the November 1st episode of Dynamite, AEW World Champion MJF was set to face Bullet Club Gold, that being Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns, with 3 partners of his choosing. If MJF won the bout, White would have given him the stolen AEW World Championship back. Throughout the show, he considered his options and came up empty. The champion kept turning down AEW World Trios champions The Acclaimed, that being Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn, despite multiple offers from Caster. In the end, MJF didn't have a choice, so he teamed up with them anyway. The two teams battled it out as The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn showcased the chemistry that led them to the Trios Gold in the first place. Likewise, Bullet Club Gold worked like a well-oiled machine. MJF was fired up throughout the bout as he was determined to get his title back. In the closing moments, he hit the kangaroo kick and he was seemingly on the verge of victory. However, White crept up behind MJF, dropped him with a Blade Runner and pinned him. After the bout, Bullet Club Gold went on the attack of MJF. Caster, Bowens, and Billy Gunn made the save as they looked to take the fight to White's stablemates. In the end, White went on to nail MJF with the title, but Caster heroically pushed MJF aside and took the blow. Bullet Club Gold escaped with the World Championship, and MJF refused to scissor Caster when the latter raised his hand. Billy got fired up and yelled at MJF, demanding him to scissor Caster, giving everything that Max has done for him. MJF begrudgingly did as Gunn demanded, and the 4 stars scissored. Despite the loss, MJF, the Acclaimed, and Billy Gunn celebrated to close the show. So what are your thoughts on the main event? What are your thoughts on the whole Acclaimed MJF segment? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, the match is set for Full Gear. Adam Copeland will be making his AEW in-ring pay-per-view debut a week after being challenged to open his eyes when it comes to not wanting to fight Christian Cage. All it took was a threat from Cage about snapping his neck for Adam Copeland to change his mind. Copeland will align himself with Sting and Darby Allin in the upcoming 6-man tag team match against Christian Cage and Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne at Full Gear. In an interview segment with Tony Schiavone, Copeland expressed his respect for both Sting and Darby Allin, despite the non-commitment to their cause at this point. But in turning the segment towards the question at hand, Cage's music hit, and he and his cronies interrupted Copeland, making their way toward the ring. Cage asserted that he was going to retire Sting at Full Gear, whether he liked it or not, and reminded the crowd that Darby's gimp arm was due to the damage he inflicted at WrestleDream. But a reminder he didn't give was about Copeland's neck problems, encouraging his former tag team partner to back down from him or else he'd snap his neck and leave him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life to let his kids wipe the drool off his face. Cutting his rant short, Cage said it was clear that none of this was getting through to Copeland, so he cued Luchasaurus and Wayne to attack. After Sting and Darby Allin made the save, Copeland made his choice. "You want to snap my neck? I'm going to beat your ass," he exclaimed after he delivered a spear to his former best friend. The match at Full Gear will mark the first time since the 2021 Royal Rumble that Copeland and Cage have competed in the same match. The two haven't squared off directly since Copeland beat Cage on Raw back in May of 2010. So the first time in 13 years that that's going to be taking place. Now, Paul White made his return last night on AEW Dynamite, and plenty of people are talking about it. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho have had no shortage of issues with the Don Callis family over the past several weeks, as things look as if they will be coming to an end in a street fight 2 weeks from now on AEW Dynamite. After Omega and Jericho defeated Daddy Magic Matt Menard and Cool Hand Angelo Parker on Wednesday's edition of Dynamite, the Don Callis family stood up from their position at the commentary desk to confront the newly dubbed Golden Jets. Quote, "You're hard to get rid of, so maybe we need to take it up a notch," Callis told them. "Maybe this doesn't get finished in a wrestling ring. Maybe this gets finished on the street." Callis then challenged the pair to a street fight, but pointed out the fact that the two of them would be outnumbered by the 4 members of his team. Omega revealed that Kota Ibushi would be joining them, before Jericho revealed that the backup he called to take care of Powerhouse Hobbs was Paul White, who clocked Kyle Fletcher on the ramp. This will be White's first time ever wrestling a match on Dynamite, last competing in an AEW ring on April 4, 2022 during an episode of AEW Dark Elevation. Meanwhile, Ibushi's most recent match on AEW programming came at AEW WrestleDream, teaming with Omega and Jericho in a losing effort to the Don Callis family. However, plenty of people watching the appearance of Paul White last night pointed out that his knees look to be in bad shape. So what are your thoughts on Paul White being involved in this one? What are your thoughts on possible health issues? We know that he's had hip replacements as well as a knee replacement, but could he need another one? And do you think he should even be involved in this match at all? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, Orange Cassidy will face off against Jon Moxley in an AEW International Championship rematch at Full Gear. AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy overcame Claudio Castagnoli on Wednesday, sneaking out a retention against the Blackpool Combat Club member on Dynamite. And afterward, Cassidy was attacked by his bitter rival as of late, Jon Moxley, who bit and tore at the freshly squeezed Cassidy's face. Later on Dynamite, Moxley threw down the gauntlet against the international champion, challenging Cassidy to a match at AEW Full Gear on November 18 in Inglewood, California. Moxley mentioned the fact that Cassidy is only champion because the injury Moxley suffered against Rey Fenix at Grand Slam took him out of contention and robbed the former AEW World Champion of his chance to regain the title as well. Later in the broadcast, the match was confirmed for the International Championship for Full Gear. Moxley's last reign with the International Championship came after he defeated Cassidy in a bloody match at AEW All Out in Chicago, Illinois, ending Cassidy's 326 historic day reign with the title. Cassidy became the first ever two-time AEW International Champion on October 10 at the special Title Tuesday edition of Dynamite. The two men came to blows recently at the AEW Battle of the Belts 8 special on TNT. Now, Dralistico is all elite, signing a contract with AEW last night and posting it on his social media. Mexican star Dralistico has confirmed that he has officially signed for AEW after featuring in the promotion a number of times. Luchador posted a video of him signing his AEW contract with AEW President Tony Khan, who was excited to welcome the LFI member. Dralistico posted the video with a message on social media thanking Khan for the opportunity. So indeed, he looks to be all elite out moving forward and will continue to team with LFI on AEW TV. Of course, LFI returned on AEW Collision last weekend. Now, switching gears to WWE and an update as to when AJ Styles is going to be back on WWE television. While WWE had plenty of star power available heading into their Crown Jewel PLE in Saudi Arabia this Saturday, one name they've been without recently is AJ Styles. The former WWE champion has been MIA from WWE programming since September, though it appears he will be back on TV sooner rather than later. PW Insider reports that Styles is currently, quote, penciled in to make his return to WWE television on the November 10 episode of SmackDown in Columbus, Ohio. It appears there will be some sort of plans for Styles' returns, as he's to be featured on TV as a regular from that point forward. It remains unclear why Styles has been off TV over the last month and a half, as no reports have emerged regarding Styles suffering any kind of injury. In his last appearance, Styles was written off after losing a singles match to Finn Balor, after which he was attacked by both Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso of the Bloodline, leading to Styles being sent to a local hospital. Styles had been feuding with Sikoa and Uso in the lead-up to the attack, defeating Uso in single action on September 8 and losing to Sikoa a week later. Styles' previous issues with the Bloodline, coupled with the attack from Uso and Sikoa, would seem to suggest he could be a potential opponent for undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns upon his return. Reigns will have to deal with LA Knight first, however, as the two are scheduled to go one-on-one at Crown Jewel, with Knight looking to end Reigns' historic 3-year title run. So what are your thoughts on AJ Styles coming back to WWE TV soon, and could he be the person that's set to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble next year? Now, a bit of an injury update on Bryan Danielson, as AEW is releasing more information about the American Dragon's injury. Bryan Danielson is out of action with an injury, has become something of a chorus, with the verses repeating throughout 2023, but it's looking hopeful that the oft-injured wrestler might be able to close out the year with AEW. On the latest AEW Control Center, AEW broadcaster Tony Schiavone reported that Danielson had undergone surgery on his broken orbital bone, an injury sustained in a recent match against Andrade El Idolo, and then aggravated in a tag team match against Kazuchika Okada and Orange Cassidy. Schiavone would not give a definite date for Danielson's return, but said the Blackpool Combat Club member and former WWE champion would likely be back from action by the end of the year. Of course, this injury just comes after Danielson returned from a broken arm sustained in a match with Kazuchika Okada in June. Danielson returned a bit early from the injury to fill in for the fired CM Punk, who was feuding with Ricky Starks at the time, which led to Danielson working a strap match and a Texas Death match with the healing appendage. Danielson had made peace with his broken body, admitting that getting older often means wrestlers are never wrestling at 100%, but the American Dragon is learning to work within the confines of his body's new limits. With each injury, Danielson is chomping at the bit to return to the ring, as he believes that his current contract with AEW will be his last full-time contract in wrestling, and he wants to be as present and appreciative as possible of his remaining time in the ring. So hopefully Danielson will be back by the end of the year. Now, one person who isn't going to be coming back anytime soon is Eric of the Viking Raiders. We've got more details as to his absence from the ring. WWE star Eric of the Viking Raiders has revealed that he underwent neck fusion surgery after being sidelined with the injury in September of this year. The former Raw Tag Team Champion disclosed on social media that he had fusion surgery on his C6 and C7 cervical spine at St. Vincent's Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama. He thanked the doctors at the hospital and WWE for their support and care, and shared several photos in the post, including an x-ray of his injury, a photo with his wife and WWE star Valhalla, and a selfie. Quote, I cannot express the proper gratitude and thankfulness to the amazing Dr. Cordova and his incredible staff at Andrews Sports Medicine and St. Vincent's Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama, and to WWE for always making sure I have the best care possible. C7, C6 fusion surgery was successful and recovery begins now. I'm excited for all the possibilities once my cybernetic upgrades come fully online. Now, Eric's last match was on the WWE main event show where he teamed with his Viking Raiders partner Ivar to face the duo of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. The Viking Raiders were originally scheduled to compete in a fatal four-way tag team match in September, but were pulled from the match at the last moment, with commentator Michael Cole announcing that Eric was dealing with a foot injury. Since Eric's injury, his tag team partner has wrestled as a singles competitor and has reportedly impressed WWE management. So best wishes go out to Eric as he recovers from neck fusion surgery. Finally, we got the ratings for Halloween Havoc Tuesday nights on USA Network. It's been a hard few days really for wrestling ratings, hasn't it? Despite a headlining match of MJF defending the AEW World title against Kenny Omega, AEW Collision had their lowest rated episode in weeks on Saturday night thanks to the World Series and college football, while Raw drew their lowest number in weeks thanks to head-to-head competition from the World Series and NFL as well. Unfortunately, NXT was unable to reverse the trend on Tuesday. WrestleNomics reports that Tuesday's episode, Night 2 of Halloween Havoc, drew 674,000 viewers and a 0.20 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. Both numbers were down from the first half of Halloween Havoc last week, with total viewers dropping 14% from 787,000 viewers, while 18 to 49 dropped 3% from last week's 0.21. All told, the numbers represent NXT's lowest total viewership and 18 to 49 rating since September 26. Like Collision and Raw, NXT faced some stiff sports competition. The World Series once again played a part, with Game 4 between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks drawing 8.5 million total viewers. NXT also had to deal with the NBA, with the New York Knicks versus Cleveland Cavaliers game on TNT drawing 1.3 million viewers. While it's unclear how much effect it had, NXT airing on Halloween nights may have also contributed to a lower number, with people out and about doing Halloween things. Halloween Havoc Night 2 saw Ilya Dragunov defend his NXT Championship once again, defeating Carmelo Hayes after Hayes was distracted by Trick Williams. The show also saw Lola Vice defeat Kalani Jordan to win the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, and Dominic Mysterio defeat Nathan Frazer to retain the NXT North American Championship before being attacked by returning Wes Lee. But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.